Well, hi guys, welcome back to TJM. It's now been a full 12 months since I purchased my Jaguar XJR X350. A lot of you guys online have asked the questions, can I do an update video of how's it performed over the last 12 months? What have I spent on it? What needs to be spent on it? And what has been spent on it in the past? So let's have a look at it and see if it was really worth it or not. Cheers. So if you remember back in my first video, which I did roughly about not so long after I bought it, if you remember, it was the cheapest XJR you can in 350 form you could find in Australia at the time, but there wasn't too many on the market for sale. I saw it; it was at $25,000 AU asking price, and then it disappeared off car sales, so it wasn't available for a while. And I kept thinking about it and I thought it was a bloody nice looking car. So I actually messaged the guy who owned it and said, is this still for sale? And he said, yes, I just took it off car sales because no one was even looking at it. And I went, okay. So I said to him, would you take 20 grand for it subject to a quick inspection? And the guy said, yes, straight away. I should have said 18 to start with. Anyhow, so I went and had a look at it. I looked at it, walked around it, and I just bought the car straight away. I didn't even have a really proper look at it whatsoever because it felt good. It was in really lovely feeling condition. So I owned it for a couple of months and it was going really, 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 really good. And I was heading up the coast one day and my coolant light came on. And I thought, oh, it needs coolant. That's a bit of a worry. So when I went and checked it, you could smell a bit of coolant. I thought, oh, it's probably that valley hose, that Death Valley hose that cracks. It probably hasn't been done, even though it's got a service history as long as War and Peace novel. So anyway, we drove it for a little while, and I also noticed a couple of little oil leaks from underneath it when I parked it in the garage, and I thought, oh, that's not another good thing. So we booked it into Dr. Jag, and it went up there, and yes, it did. It needed a full valley hose and the connections underneath the manifold. But being an XJR, it wasn't as easy as it sounds because you've got to take off the supercharger and the manifold and a lot of other ancillaries on top of that. So it was going to be ugly, it was going to be costly. But in the meantime, also the front timing cover gasket, the cover that covers that whole front, all the timing chains, it has a rubber O-ring that goes all the way around it like this, and it was pretty much gone hard, and that's where the oil leaks were coming from. So it made sense to do both jobs at the same time. Now, when I first looked at it, if the car was as good as it sounded, I was going to pay $25,000 for it, but I got it for 20. So I did have $5,000 contingency if anything went wrong with it. Well, a lot did go wrong with it. I had to do the supercharger. I had to remove all that supercharger and manifold and repair all those pipes, and also we did the timing cover gasket, which ended up costing over $5,000. So there went my contingency. However, bugger all has gone wrong with it in the last 12 months. Now we've only done 10,000 K on it, but that's a pretty big deal. But let's see what can go wrong with it and what needs to be looked at in case to keep this thing on the road. Let's have a brief look at what's been spent on this thing in the last 5 or 6 years. We've got Dr. Jag's one. Well, that was mine, and that was nearly 5 grand. Only $800 worth of materials, 3 grand's worth of labour. It had tyres on it before I got it. It's got nice new Pirellis on it now, and it also had a front and wheel alignment at the same time. Well, only last year, excuse me, it had 2 front hump assemblies, front brake pads, and it had them front discs machined. Normally you would just replace those front discs, but had the front disc machined. So that was done. It was a pretty expensive exercise. Again in 2021, not so many kilometres ago, I was just sort of sorting out a few things like the front suspension. I think it must have been the rye height level. I wasn't working pretty well, and they've adjusted all that. So that's been done in 2021 as well. $700 worth of parts, but it was pretty much just standard stuff: handbrake pads, indicator wiper switches, so that must have packed it in to some stage. Some plug seals, that's standard. Handbrake calibration, headlight wiper switch was stuff, so it's got a new one of them. Not an expensive exercise, was an expensive exercise. Then we go back to 2019. I think in 2021 we have airbag suspension, struts, lower wishbone bushes replaced, new front and rear strut assemblies, machine discs. Wow, that was only done 2 years prior. Okay, another in 2019, lower wishbone bushes, level recheck after sitting left-hand rear shocks slowly leaking. So it had rear shocks as well. So it's had front and rear shocks in as many as the last 50,000 kilometres. That's okay, don't have to worry about them. What else on 2018? Water pump. Oil spraying out of timing cover. Well, we fixed that. Gearbox leak. Well, we've serviced the gearbox. I serviced the gearbox last year. Exhaust mount starting to crack. Front spoiler damaged. Yeah, sort of just things. What else was anything ugly in this one? It was a $2,500 bill. I think it. Crankcase assembly, crankcase seal, harmonic balancer. That's why it was vibrating. Crankcase damper valve. Yeah. Okay, so it had a brand new harmonic balancer put on it about 50,000 K ago as well. What's that one? Disc front rotors. They were done. There's no speedo reading on that. But that was in 2018, probably about 250,000 K. Here we go again. Ball joints, upper ball joints, upper wishbones, done. Okay. Rear brake calipers, done. 2017. Rear wishbone bushes, 2017. In this one, brake pads. Just seems it does a lot heavy on brakes. This thing, by the looks of things, just pretty much add. Yeah, nothing much there. And they used to maybe squeal a bit. Oh, and engine mounts. Wow, it had engine mounts at 235,000 kilometres. Well, and yeah, and suspension dust boots, and had the new boots on the steering rack. Spark plugs, 2,000 kilometres. They've done about 70,000 K ago, so they'll be right for a while. No speedo reading on this one. Pretty much just, I think we mentioned broken engine mounts. I wonder how break engine mounts. I guess they break, eventually wear out. Disc and rotors worn, well, they were replaced before that. 2016, we're going back a bit now. Wheel bearings, front wheel bearings again. That's about it. That's really important on that. So there you go. No wonder this thing drives so well. It's how much work done on it. So anyway, we might leave it at that. So it really hasn't cost me any money, except for that initially at the first purchase of that $5,000, which I had a contingency for anyway. And the rest of the car's been great ever since. So we're going to touch wood and keep going on it, and we'll give you another report on that car if I still have it in 12 months' time. Thanks very much for watching, guys. And if you did enjoy the video, just give it your likes up, thumbs up, and don't forget to tell your mates. And if you'd like to leave a comment with things that have gone wrong with your X350, please do so. I love hearing from you guys, and we'll catch you on the next one. Just going to give it a bit of a squirt going on here, mate.
Careful.
Yeah. This video, I've had a few with it. What has gone wrong with it, and I don't know. Well, hi guys, welcome back to TJM. I'm now state of how the car's performed after the well, hi guys, welcome back to TJM. It's been a full bloody phone's ringing now, for God's sake.